So it's now time to finally save whatever we've changed here into the database itself. So like I said, everything up to this point will be savable except these two down here. We're going to need a whole different set of code to save this, but the top will be done. So let's see how we can do that. Now the first thing we need is we need to know, first of all, what content is in the oh, actually we can know that, that's not a problem. So I'm going to open the courses view file. Okay, so if you remember very well, this edit part here, this is the tab's content that has the content we want from here. This is where we load this form here. So if I can just grab a form from within this, where is this, the courses view. In fact, I don't even need to grab a form. I can just grab this and grab all inputs from within there. So these are text area, inputs, etc., etc. So what I would do is let me create a function to save content. So there's a save button right at the top in the edit section. This is the save button here. So when we click on this button, on click, we're supposed to save content. That's what we're just going to call it, save content. We don't need to supply anything here because we don't really need anything from the button. I'm just going to copy this and create a function. So let's go to the very bottom of the page. So right here we can put some comments and say, for saving content. Now if you want these comments to look more stylish, you can do this version. Oh wait, well, make them like this, and then when you press enter, I don't know why this doesn't work here. Anyway, you can put more stars and then another star and then another star and then finally star slash to close that off. You can put more stars like this. Yeah, anyway, it's a waste of time, but someone asked me how to make them stylish, but this is all you do. You just type them like this, then you can copy and paste on several lines. Maybe let's do that, right? Or it can be like this for saving content. Okay, so let's create a function real quick. Function save content like so. And all we need to do is get the div named, let's see, content is equal to document.query selector, and we want to get the one dot tab content like that. Okay, now in tab content we want to get everything, so we're going to say all inputs, or we're just going to say inputs is equal to content dot query selector, or to get every instance of those, that this returns an array instead of a single value. In here I want to get everything that has a tag name of input. Let me put a comma. I think it's a comma that will work. Anything with text area and anything with a select. Those are all the inputs we need. I don't need the file inputs at this point. Now all I want to do is just do a console.log to show me if it actually retrieved the right information. So I'll put inputs in there so we can see what inputs has to offer. So I'll refresh the page, inspect the element, go to the console, and then just click save. Now we can't click save until we edit something or we select something new. So I'm just going to select something. Now save is active and I can click on it. And content is no. So it's telling me that content is empty. And if you watch here, it tells you exactly which function has a problem. So it says on click, you clicked on something, and then it took you to this function, and we have a problem there. Content is empty. No is just empty. So it's telling me that this value is empty, so it couldn't grab tabs content. Maybe it's tab content, not tabs content. So let's just confirm it's tabs content. Oh, the problem is it's an ID, it's not a class. So my bad. This is the problem. That's why when you start using IDs, stick to IDs and don't mix IDs with classes. It gets confusing. So we put the hash symbol instead. This should work this time. Let's refresh and let's click save after we select something new. Save. Okay, so we have a node list. This is nice. We have an input, text area, select. So these are all the items in there. So it rightly got them. You can see here there's a name for each one of these guys. This one is subtitle, this one is title, level ID, price ID, primary subject, and these things have values in here. So this input has a value already there set. This select also has options here. One of them should be selected, right? It doesn't matter, but at the end of the day there should be an attribute called value, which should have the actual value. And there it is, value. Wait, this is the inner HTML. I'm looking for value. Wait. What's happening? Let me enlarge this. Oh boy. Where is value? Value. There we go. And value is 2. Okay, so everything is working as intended, in short. Okay, so now that we have every item, we can just loop through the items and then grab, send this data to the other side. Simple and straightforward. So to send data, we use this right here. Where is this? Send data like this, and we supply an object in there. So I'm going to copy this and let's just put it right at the end here. Okay, like so. But in this case, we won't do it like this. We'll just add an object called obj. We'll create it here. We'll just say var obj is equal to an empty object like that. And then we'll add items to it and then supply it here. So to add items, we don't want to add them one by one. Of course, this is a computer. We're going to use the for loop. So let's loop through all the inputs, right? And each time we loop through, we add to the object. Now the way objects work is like this. I can say object dot, then I put a value like dot value is equal to, and then I put some actual value. So this value will be the key. If I put dot key, then I've created a key just like an associative array in PHP. So instead of doing this, oh yeah, so we need a different loop here. We need a loop that will give us access to the keys. Oh no, we don't even have that yet. There are no keys here. Okay, fine. What we'll do is let's create some variables, right? So let's say var key is equal to inputs. This is one of the inputs dot name. So remember that the name of the input contains its key, really same as the value in the column name in the database. So this key right there is a variable. So instead of saying object dot key, I'll do this. I'll put square brackets like that to tell it that this is actually a variable. It's different with PHP where you put a $sign like that. Variables here and text look exactly the same, so they don't have any special symbol. So it's as good as I'm saying obj dot the current key, which may be something like title, then is equal to. But the problem is I don't know what the name of the key will be, so I'm putting a variable called key to represent that. But if I put dot key like this, it's going to think I'm trying to make the key name key itself. So to tell it that it's actually a variable, I'll put square brackets like that instead. That way it will evaluate key and find out what is contained inside key. That's what it will put there. So anyway, object obj key is equal to, then let's put the value of this current input. So we get the name as the key and then we put the value as the value. Simple and straightforward. So once we do all that, then we can send that object. But also we need to tell it what kind of data this is. So we're going to say obj dot, this time I'm putting an actual key name. This one is data type is equal to, what is the data type here? We are saving, save, so I'm going to call it save. Then there's also tab name, maybe. Yeah, here we used tab name, so I'm just going to get that so that we know what tab we are on, and what we need to do with this data is to save. And what tab are we on? We are on tab, whatever the current tab is. So this is important because we need to know what tab we are on in order to know how to save the data. And then we need to know what we are doing, whether we are on this tab, are we saving or reading to this tab? So at least here we know we are reading, we are saving, and this is the tab name. Then everything will be sent here, and the send data function will send it to the other side. Simple and straightforward. And then on the other side, we need to handle the result depending on what result we have. So here we have send data, right? And then we send this to handle result function. The only problem is here we just do the same thing regardless what the result is. So we need another if statement here to tell us what to do with the data. Okay, but we need to know what the data type we've received. That's what will tell us what to do with it. So in this case, we go back to the admin section here, and as you can see, we have in the edit section here, especially, we have a die here, and course landing page. When we are reading data, this is what we return, right? And unfortunately, this isn't very good enough. Because there's a few problems here we have. So we're going to have to fix them. I guess this is why I didn't want to use include, but I wanted to use file get contents. So the problem here we have is this. This is going to be tricky a little bit. Yeah, we need to fix this. Okay, so the include, what this does is it just brings the current file information and puts it as if it were right here. Okay, as if it were right here. The problem is that if I want to send that data into a variable, so I don't want to return just HTML, I want to return what we call, I want to return an array instead, so that I can return more data than just what's contained in this page. There's data that I want to return that should not be part of the course landing page when we retrieve it. So for example, here what's happening is when I refresh the page, it's bringing back HTML, and then we are just shoving the HTML into this div. The only problem is sometimes I want to know what this type of HTML is. Where do I send this HTML? So this information can be sent from the server as well to tell you, okay, this goes to the course landing page, this goes to the curriculum page. In order to do that, we need to send arrays of data so that the array can have data type, what to do with the data. It can carry more information than just what we need to display. Because right now, if I carry any extra information, it will come and be displayed here as part of the result, which is not what I want, because some of the information should be used only to determine where to take the data or what to do with it. The same way we are sending an object here. You see here we are sending an object. When we say send, at least the object is organized because it's got data type, data this, and then the actual data that you are sending, etc., etc. Okay, so we need a similar thing when receiving the data. Right now, we're just dumping the entire file here and it's being returned, and that's not good. The only problem with the include function is that you can't say something like data is equal to, and then you say include. This doesn't work. What I want is to be able to include the file but put it in here. Okay, put that result in here. So I can do that with file get contents, and I can still use the views path because that still gets me to the file itself. The only problem is if I do a file get contents, the content will come in without PHP won't be able to run there. So let's do that and I show you what I'm talking about. If I say file get contents, so the reason we're using file get contents is because this is able to grab a file and get the contents of a file and shove them into a variable, so that we're just not echoing that data here. We want to save it in a variable so we can organize the data a little bit better. So no echoing is happening now, but I can still do echo data like this. So at least now I can grab it and then echo it myself. The only problem is we'll see a few problems here. As you can see now, PHP is no longer running. You see all the PHP code as it is, right? That's a problem now. So PHP is no longer running. PHP only runs if you grab a file through the server. So which means you must indicate that there's localhost, or you put HTTP in front of the link. When you do that, then it's running like an HTTP request. Therefore, the server is going to run everything through PHP. It knows it's just not going to grab the file as we have done here. So this presents a little more problems than we care to admit. Now, yes, so now we have a problem where our PHP is no longer active because we want to do something like this. But before we can activate the PHP, let me show you why we did it like this. This way, I can do something like this. I can say data, or instead of using data here, because I'm already using data there, so I'm going to change this to info. So I'll say info and then do data like that. Info data is equal to that. That way I've created an array, and then this way I can also do something like info data type like that is equal to, and I know the data type here is save, right? Very good. So we know what we were doing with this. Oh, wait a minute. This is just reading from the course landing page, right? This is read. So I have to put read here. Sorry about that. Okay. That way, when this information gets to the other side, I know this is a read operation, and the data that was returned from the read operation will be inside here. And in order to return this, I have to echo out this this variable. But this is an array, so I can't just say echo info like this. It won't work. I can use print r, but then it's just going to echo it like it had done before. So instead, I want to turn it to JSON. I'll say JSON encode. So we encode when we want to send JSON data. Now, the reason I've used JSON encode is because JSON is going to get this array and turn it into a string. So it will grab this array and turn it into a string. The reason is simple, because on the other side, we can use JSON.parse in JavaScript to turn it back into an array and then read the data in a more organized manner. That way, we are not just returning HTML and then dumping it. We are returning actual arrays, which is more organized data. This is what is known as a REST API, or REST way of communicating. Things are well organized instead of just bringing back HTML, sending HTML like that. Okay, so at least the data type is read, and that's what we get. So in this case, what we would do is, once we echo this, if we come back to our courses, where is this? Let me show you what this result will be. If I refresh, this is what I get. So I got JSON data, But because it contains some HTML, that's why you see it look weird like this, because it has some HTML. But with this, what we can do now is on the handle results section, we can do var obj is equal to JSON. This is how you do JSON here, dot parse, and then let's parse the result. And then we check if it turned out to be an actual object, if no error happened. So we're going to say if type of obj is equal to an object. So if it's a real object, then let's do something about that, right? Let's do this. Let's put this in there. If it's not a real object, let's ignore everything. So move this in there like that. Now we need also to check if it's an object. We'll say if obj.dataType is equal to read, like that, then this is when this will work. Let's do that, and let's move this here like that. Okay, so only on the read operation do we do this. And then now we check tabs content, a read operation, and let's do that. So now instead of giving us the result, we'll get from object.data, because that's where we saved it in. Okay, because we sent two things. We sent data type and data right here, data and data type. So if I now refresh, we're back to square one, except our PHP still doesn't run. So I'm going to show you how we can make our PHP run again, but it's a little bit of a, it's going to take one more video, I guess, because it's not as simple as what we had done before. But this is more organized now, because now we can choose, is this a read operation? Let's do something. Is it a save operation? Let's do something. Same as when we receive the data, we'll check, is this a read? Let's do something in particular. Is it a save? Because here we can put an else statement and do this, and then put another if statement like so, so that if this is a save operation, we just show you something that says thank you for saving, or data was saved, or whatever it is. That way we do different things depending on the data type that was sent. Alrighty then, so let's do a real quick thing here. I'll just say alert data saved like that. Okay, then come back to the admin section, and here where we have its course landing page, of course, data type is equal to read, and then there's course landing page tab name. Okay, this is fine. Let me duplicate this, Ctrl+Shift+D, and I'm going to put an else statement like that. So here, if it's equal to save, okay, and it's the course landing page again. So when we save here, I won't do any saving really. All I want to do is put empty data here, because we are just saving. Unless we have a message to send, maybe data did not save, then we'll put it inside data. But the data type here is save, and then let's return that and we'll get a message. So this is the difference. If I refresh, I get a read operation, the result is saved here. But if I click save, I should get something else. If I do that, save is active, and I click, I get data saved. See? More organized like that. But let's fix this mess here in the next video.